It's a classic children's story told in a way you might never expect. The show is The Little Mermaid.
It's at the Palace Arts Center in Grapevine, and the entire show is told using marionettes. And GMT's Paige McCoy-Smith is live this morning in Grapevine with a closer look.
Well, good morning, ladies. And look who's here. It's Ariel. She has left the sea, and she is in a beautiful form as a marionette. She's one of over 60 puppets that are part of this show, The Little Mermaid, put together by Le Theatre de Marionnette. And I'm joined here by John Hopkins, who is the proprietor of this theater, and in many cases has created all of these puppets, particularly this puppet, King Neptune. I'm curious about marionettes. How much work is involved, and how much time does it take to create one of these beautiful works of art?
Well, most of the marionettes that you're going to see in the show today are made in our studio. They take anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks to build and construct, and there's probably anywhere from 10 to 20 artists that touch each one of these puppets. Everybody from carvers to painters to wardrobe people to hair and wig makers. Everybody takes their shot at getting the puppets ready for the shows. Well,
they're absolutely gorgeous, and of course they have to be handled by strings. How many strings does a typical marionette have?
Well, our puppets take about 12 to 18 strings each. So, and there's lots and lots of puppets in this show. So it's like flying a kite in a hurricane sometimes backstage during the show. So
but it's a lot of fun, and I have to say, obviously, it's something that you have had a passion for most of your life. You have been involved with puppets and putting on different types of performances. And since you were a child, how did your love affair with the marionette begin?
I started at 16 at Six Flags Over Texas here locally, and actually performed in this theater, the Palace Theater in Grapevine, when I was 17. So came back home. So it's been a great journey.
So this has been like a homecoming for you.
It has been. 37 years of doing this, but it's great.
Well, the puppets are absolutely beautiful. I'm so impressed with how much detail is involved with each of them. In fact, in this particular performance, you have 6 different Ariels and different scenes in order to really tell the story.
Right. Ariel, of course, makes lots of transformations in the story. So, and we have to build different puppets for each one of those particular scenes that she's in. So we do have 6 Ariels in the show, 3 Ursulas.
3 Ursulas, 6 Ariels, and the thing is that children have an opportunity to see these characters that they have fallen in love, not only with the Hans Christian Andersen's, his story, but also with the Disney movie. You've brought back some of these characters and put them in this new form, and what's exciting too is to see this resurgence of marionettes and to see how the popularity of this type of art form and this type of theater and how it's come back into vogue.
It has been embraced. We're dealing with sellout crowds, which is awesome for this theater, and we started selling tickets 3-4 months ago, and a lot of the shows are sold out. The kids are just, they're showing up in their costumes, and and the parents, of course, they're embracing this old world art form, this old world storytelling, and it's been a great response from the audience.
Well, marionettes have been around for centuries. It is an old art form, but where did the word marionette come from?
Marionette originated centuries ago. They used to tell stories, the biblical stories of the of the first Christmas. So it came from Little Mary, the manger scenes. So that's where marionette came from.
And this production is pretty elaborate. Of course, we have these puppeteers that work with these puppets, but then you also have professional actors that have voiced this. You have a wonderful musical score, and all of that is combined to ultimately bring really something that's quite magical.
It is. It really is. There's probably 30, 40 artists that have contributed to this show, from the voice actors to the scenic painters to to the welders who create this staging that we perform in. So it was quite an ensemble effort. It really was.
Right. I have to tell you, honestly, I'm having such a great time seeing these puppets and how beautiful they are. They really are lovely works of art. So for people who want to come and participate, and I really urge you to check out this production, it'll be something that you'll never forget. Where can they get some more information?
Our website is the best way to find out more information about the show times and the dates. It's letheatre.net, and that's Letheatre. It's the French spelling, .net.
Letheatre.net. All right, well, we're going to wave goodbye to you back in the studio, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
So sending back inside to you in the studio.
That looks like so much fun. Paige, thanks.
got started with marionettes and puppetry in 1976, working for Six Flags Over Texas, and then several other amusement park chains, and then went to work for companies such as Sid and Marty Krofft Television and Henson Productions and things like that back in the early 80s.
Well, what happened for me is that I've always been a puppet fan. I mean, since I was a kid, I was just building puppets, not really because I'd seen many examples. The one example that I had seen growing up was going out to Six Flags and spending more time at the Sid and Marty Krofft Theater, Good Times Theater, than I did at going to, say, the Shockwave.
Kids love puppets. They always have. It's a great art form, and I guess it's a hybrid between live theater and what they associate as being cartoons. They're fascinated with it for several reasons. I think one is it's very rare to see marionette puppetry still today. There's only really a handful of theaters or companies that are producing shows in the United States.
Can my tired old eyes deceive me? Two sweet little children asleep in the forest. Oh, shake the sleepiness from your tired old eyes, Rosina. You must be dreaming, girl.
When we're contacted and to perform at a public location or for a private event, usually what we're asked to do is bring one of our storybook shows or to create a product that comes into the facility. When it comes to building an actual marionette show, it all starts with the script and the storyboard. We have to start with whatever the subject matter is. We have to storyboard it out just like you do in film. Once we actually have a running line of what the show is supposed to entail, we have to go about it from different aspects. The lighting, the staging, the sound which is recorded, the music, the voice actors that bring the life of the characters into play, just as in any kind of animated film. And then there's, of course, the actual staging, the production, and then the performance. So there's so many different aspects in actually bringing a show from a creation to the point where an audience can actually see it.
Live theater has a profound effect that it's just apart from what film or television or any other media can do.
That's what I do love about this art form is that when it's produced and performed properly, it really brings the kids in. It gets them very involved in the show. They buy into the fact that these characters are alive on stage.
It's the Little Drummer Boy, mostly told by marionettes. Now, the show is presented by Le Theatre des Marionnettes, and it includes a cast of 30 handmade puppets.
GMT Shannon Powell-Hart had the opportunity to go behind the scenes of the Little Drummer Boy at the Hilton Anatole here in Dallas to show us how that magic is made.
This is a very unique puppet show. We are talking about 30 different beautiful puppets, and we are here at the Hilton Anatole right here in Dallas to talk about this marionette show. And John Hopkins, you are here this morning. Now, you're usually at your theater, but you brought the Little Drummer Boy right here to the Anatole. What's going on with that?
Well, we were invited by the Anatole to bring a holiday production, so we brought a full-sized bridge show, The Little Drummer Boy, which is a very classic holiday show featuring a live marionette nativity. There's about 30 marionettes used in this production, and it's a classic story, and the kids and families really enjoy it.
You call them marionettes. What's so special about these particular puppets that we're seeing here on the stage?
Well, this show is presented with about 30 hand-carved wooden marionettes. It's the European style where the strings are actually separate. The puppets are separated from the puppeteers, which stand on a scaffold high above the stage. I'll show you that in just a second. But the audience actually is, they can focus in on just the puppets, the scenery, the lighting, and there's no distractions. It's completely isolated away, and the audience really loses itself into the story in this form of puppetry.
How long does it take to learn how to operate one of these puppets?
It can take years. It can take years to efficiently operate them. Our puppeteers have been working these marionettes or these puppets anywhere from a year to 20 years. All right, so here we are on the bridge. We're about 8 feet above the stage. We're separated from the puppet with about 8 to 9 feet of string.
Wow, that's
right?
a lot.
And you want to feel the weight of the puppet. There you go.
It's not very heavy at all.
This one's not very heavy. We gave you the lightest one. So.
Okay, and I have a little lamb.
You have a lamb. This is Shalea. She is she's one of the drummer boy's pets or little friends during this story.
And John, just tell us how long, it takes about a year or so to learn how to use this, but what is the angle that you're really trying to do when you have the puppet on the stage?
Well, obviously you're trying to create the most lifelike movement. So this particular puppet is as an animal, you're keeping the control level, and we're rocking it back and forth, kind of like a seesaw. Mm-hmm. And that by doing so, rocking it back and forth, if you look down below, you'll see that the legs are moving just like an animal back and forth. Okay, you're a junior puppeteer. There you go.
All right. Who's more fascinated with this show, the children or their parents?
I think both. Both are equally fascinated. The kids don't separate that it's not real. They actually buy into it that it's real. Of course, the parents, they get the humor that's laced in the show as well. So it's for all ages.
Mary and Joseph and the Three Kings, and of course the little drummer boy. This is the final scene of the play, and John, you say this is your favorite scene.
It's my favorite, and it's probably the audience's favorite as well. It kind of encapsulates the whole Christmas spirit and, a marionette nativity. It's really something to watch. So a lot of puppets on stage at the same time and just a lot of action happening.
We're talking about 30 puppets. The Little Drummer Boy is being presented by Le Theatre des Marionnettes here at the Hilton Anatole, Dallas until December 28th. And John, where do they go for more information?
They can go to letheatre.net online and get all the information about showtimes, scheduling, and the next performance.